Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. My name is Jennifer Baird, and I am the Program Manager for the Sovereign's Medal for Volunteers at the Chancellery of Honours with the Office of the Governor-General. I will be your Master of Ceremonies for today, and I'm very delighted to see everyone here. Je m'appelle Jennifer Baird, je suis la gestionnaire de la médaille de souveraine pour les bénévoles à la Chancellerie de distinction honorifique au bureau du gouverneur général. Je serai votre maître de cérémonie pour la remise de distinction honorifique aujourd'hui. Before the ceremony starts, I would kindly ask that you turn off your cell phones and refrain from taking pictures during the ceremony. Our official photographer will take pictures of each of the recipients as they receive their award from the Governor-General. Information about how to download the pictures from the web will be available following today's event. Thank you. Avant que la cérémonie ne débute, j'aimerais vous demander de bien vouloir fermer vos téléphones cellulaires et vous abstenir de prendre des photos pendant la cérémonie. Le photographe officiel de Rideau Hall prendra des photos de chacun des récipiendaires lorsqu'ils recevront leur décoration du gouverneur général. Vous obtiendrez des détails pour télécharger les photos suite à l'événement aujourd'hui. Merci beaucoup.
The phone rang. I said, hello.
I thought I was in trouble when they told me, like, Hélène, we need to contact you. I was like, oh non, qu'est-ce que j'ai fait? Like, what did I do?
On a reçu un appel et la madame dit, félicitations, vous avez mérité une médaille de service méritoire. Et c'est reconnu par tout le Canada.
Leurs Excellences, le Très Honorable David Johnston, gouverneur général du Canada, et Madame Sharon Johnston.
I think I was just in shock, and I didn't believe it.
Big time surprise. I can't sleep for 2 weeks.
I think it hit me today. And when we were walking into the room and everybody was clapping, and when I was sitting down, that's when I realized, wow. And I started to cry. I'm like émotionnelle all the time.
Hélène Campbell est une championne du don de tissus et d'organes. Elle a subi une double greffe de poumon qui lui a sauvé la vie. Grâce à ses campagnes novatrices dans les médias sociaux, elle a sensibilisé le public aux dons d'organes.
That's, I think, right then is where I realized that it's incredible to have so many remarkable people be recognized the same day as I was recognized, because it's a testament to the power people have to make a difference in this world, which is incredible.
Rebecca Vivi is the host and chef of the popular Inuit TV cooking show Nukotsiat, which means healthy cooking.
I saw so many people clap my hand. Looks like my body was a lot wrinkles. Look, bubble, you know. I'm so excited, me too. I didn't know I looked people holy cow. Not cow, but holy. Yeah, I'm so happy.
Durant la cérémonie, j'étais vraiment nerveux, puis j'étais ému.
Nourrissant la même passion pour la danse et le désir d'offrir des programmes récréatifs aux jeunes ayant des besoins spéciaux, Melissa Emblin, Marie-Hélène Patenaude et Luca Lazy Legs Patuali ont fondé le projet RAD, réservé aux danseurs.
Qu'est-ce que c'était cool, c'était être dans la chambre avec tous les autres Canadiens qui ont reçu des médailles d'honneur et savoir qu'eux aussi sont reconnus pour quelque chose, ils ont été passionnés.
Receiving this doesn't mean I'm done. You know, it's only motivation to want to keep going.
Et ça, c'est la chose la plus importante, c'est juste parce qu'on est arrivé ici à ce point-là avec les médailles, ça ne veut pas dire que c'est la fin, c'est juste le début de quelque chose de grand.
Don't quit. Go for it to get that. That's what I do. I had that medal.
So hello again, bonjour encore. So, mesdames et messieurs, veuillez vous lever et vous joindre à moi pour accueillir les récipiendaires. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and join me in welcoming the recipients. And now, if you would please remain standing, that we'll soon have the arrival of the Lieutenant Governors and the Territorial Commissioners, accompanied by their Excellencies, the Right Honourable David Johnston, Governor-General and Commander-in-Chief of Canada, and Mrs. Sharon Johnston. So please remain standing. Veuillez rester debout. Oh, a few more recipients. D'autres récipiendaires. Please be seated. Veuillez vous asseoir. Our ceremony takes place in the presence of many of our country's lieutenant governors and territorial commissioners. Joining us today, we are pleased to welcome their honors, Brigadier General the Honorable John James Grant, Lieutenant Governor of Nova Scotia, and Mrs. Joan Grant. Leurs honneurs, l'honorable Jocelyne Roy-Vienneau, lieutenant-gouverneur de Nouveau-Brunswick, et Monsieur Ronald Vienneau. Their honors, the Honorable Janice Philman, Lieutenant Governor of Manitoba, and the Honorable Gary Philman. Their honors, the Honorable Judith Guichon, Lieutenant Governor of British Columbia, and Mr. Bruno Joseph Jacques Mailloux. Their honors, the Honorable H. Frank Lewis, Lieutenant Governor of Prince Edward Island, and Mrs. Dorothy Lewis. Her Honor, the Honorable Vaughn Solomon Schofield, Lieutenant Governor of Saskatchewan. Their honors, the Honorable Lois Mitchell, Lieutenant Governor of Alberta, and Mr. Doug Mitchell. Their honors, the Honorable Frank Fagan, Lieutenant Governor of Newfoundland and Labrador, and Mrs. Patricia Fagan. The Honorable Nellie Taptakut Kusuguak, Commissioner of Nunavut. Thank you for joining us today, Your Honors. Merci. Distingués invités, distinguished guests, on behalf of Their Excellencies, the Governor General and Mrs. Johnston, I would like to welcome you to this very special presentation of Canadian Honors today. This is a ceremony to share inspiring stories and celebrate outstanding contributions of Canadians who've demonstrated excellence, courage, and exceptional dedication to service. Au nom de leurs excellences, le gouverneur général et Madame Johnston, j'aimerais vous souhaiter la bienvenue à cette cérémonie toute spéciale, la remise de distinction honorifique. Nous sommes très heureuses de partager et de célébrer avec vous les histoires inspirantes de Canadiens qui ont fait preuve d'excellence, de courage et d'un sens de devoir exceptionnel. I would like to acknowledge that our ceremony is taking place today in the traditional unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people who have long inhabited this land. Walaaliq. I would now invite His Honor, Brigadier General, the Honorable John James Grant, Lieutenant Governor of Nova Scotia, to offer him welcome remarks. Your Honor.
Your Excellencies, Your Honors, Commissioners, distinguished guests, honors recipients, friends, certainly a great pleasure to welcome you to Nova Scotia and to Pier 21, where so many immigrants entered Canada in the first half of the 20th century and went on to form the Canada that we know today. On behalf of my fellow Lieutenant Governors and Territorial Commissioners, who have been holding their annual conference here in Halifax, it's my honor to welcome you to this afternoon's ceremony. A great joy of serving as one of the Queen's representatives in Canada is participating in these sorts of events where remarkable Canadians, those people who make a real difference in the lives of their fellow citizens, are recognized by the Crown for their service to countless thousands. In reviewing the citations of more than 70 recipients we are honoring today, I have been struck by the commonality of one theme, which is selflessness. Whether it is rescuing a person who fell through the ice overcoming a great personal disability to help others, creating and running a food bank, or teaching at-risk inner city youth about growing food and entrepreneurship, every person we honor today has put others before themselves. No matter whether these acts lasted a brief period of time or have been performed for a whole lifetime, they all have a significant impact on the lives of others. Honors in Canada are a tangible way in which the Crown, on behalf of the people, recognizes those who strive to give us positive notoriety and who ultimately make our community, our province, and our country a better place to live. A unique aspect of our honor system is that nominations come from the grassroots level. That is, regular citizens nominate those whom they deem to be worthy of recognition. It is a publicly driven process that relies upon citizen engagement. We are so very fortunate to live in a country where so many of our citizens don't hesitate to step forward and help their fellow citizens. We saw this most recently on a larger scale with the wildfires in Fort McMurray and how Canadians helped to settle the thousands of Syrian refugees. Those many Canadians who helped did not know the names or faces of those who needed assistance, but they helped nonetheless. The many acts of kindness and selflessness that we saw and those that we honor here today all contribute to what it means to be a citizen of Canada and why our nation is admired around the world. To the recipients so honored today, I thank you for your acts of bravery, your meritorious efforts across so many areas, and your volunteerism. You have set wonderful examples for your fellow Canadians and have inspired many to step up to help too. Today is your day. We recognize you with these awards and medals. We know you will wear them with tremendous pride in your communities throughout Atlantic Canada. Thank you. Merci.
Thank you, Your Honor. J'invite maintenant Son Excellence le Gouverneur Général à nous offrir quelques paroles. I would now invite His Excellency the Governor General to say a few words. Ladies and gentlemen, Mesdames et Messieurs, the Right Honourable David Johnson, Governor General and Commander-in-Chief of Canada.
Thank you. Vice Regal colleagues, parliamentarians, honored recipients, distinguished guests, Mesdames et Messieurs, good morning and welcome to all of you at this special presentation of Canadian honors in this very special part of Canada. Merci de votre présence pour cette cérémonie pour honorer des Canadiens remarquables. This is truly a very special place. We're on the traditional lands of the Mi'kmaq, and we're also at Pier 21, one of Canada's most important historic sites. It's estimated that 1 in 5 Canadians has an ancestor who passed through this terminal when it served as the unofficial gateway to Canada between 1928 and 1971. As my predecessor, Adrian Clarkson, once said, Pier 21 represents the values which we all try to live by in Canada: freedom, opportunity, equality, decency. To that list, I would add diversity, one of the great strengths of this country. As you may know, Ms. Clarkson herself was a refugee to Canada, though she arrived from Hong Kong at another point of entry. However, the mother of her husband, John Ralston Saul, arrived at Pier 21 on the Mauritania in 1946. As I said, 1 in 5 of us has an ancestor who passed through this very building. That's a lot of Canadians. And what better place to celebrate the best of what it means to be Canadian? And so today, we recognize some of Atlantic Canada's bravest, most dedicated, and compassionate people. we're delighted to be presenting Canadian honors here in Halifax, joined by our vice-regal colleagues, and to do so in the presence of so many friends and family members of the recipients. Je suis heureux que cette cérémonie ait lieu en présence de mes collègues qui, tout comme moi, représentent Sa Majesté la Reine au Canada et honorent des gens comme vous partout au pays. We've borrowed our recipients from their communities for a day to honor them and to celebrate their achievements. They're from communities throughout Newfoundland and Labrador, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Prince Edward Island. They're exceptional volunteers, professionals, and innovators. They're caregivers and members of the military. They're courageous. They're philanthropists in the broadest sense of the word. That Greek word philanthropy means share a love of humanity, a love of humanity. Each of these individuals is making this a better country, one day at a time, one kind and remarkable act at a time. Avec ces honneurs, nous avons disons merci pour votre générosité, pour votre passion, pour votre courage, pour votre sens du devoir. Today, we're here to say thank you for your compassion, for your excellence, for your sacrifices. The decorations for bravery, the meritorious service decorations, military and civil, and the Sovereign's Medal for Volunteerism all share a dual purpose: to honor those who inspire us and to encourage others to follow their lead, pour encourager les autres. These honors inspire others to get involved, to help out and to build networks of caring and creativity. So let today inspire all of you to nominate other deserving people for these honors. And to our recipients, congratulations and thank you for everything you do for your communities and for Canada. Félicitations et merci pour tout ce que vous redonnez à votre pays. Merci.
Merci, Excellence. J'invite maintenant ma collègue, Madame Darcy de Marsico, directrice à la Chancellerie de distinction honorifique, à présenter les récipiendaires. I invite my colleague, Darcy de Marsico, Director at the Chancellery of Honors, to come forward to introduce the recipients. Darcy?
Good afternoon. The first honors presented today are the Canadian Decorations for Bravery. These recognize people who have risked their lives to save another. Les décorations canadiennes pour actes de bravoure expriment de façon symbolique la gratitude de la nation à l'égard de ceux et celles qui ont risqué leur vie pour sauver ou protéger leurs semblables. Récipiendaire de la médaille de la bravoure, to receive the Medal of Bravery, Rory D. Chamberlain. On January 19, 2014, Rory D. Chamberlain rescued a man who had fallen through the ice on the Kennebecassis River in Rothsay, New Brunswick. After hearing the victim scream for help, Mr. Chamberlain ran to the frozen riverbank and began to break a path through the ice toward the man until he was chest deep in the frozen water. He then crawled over the remaining ice on his stomach to grasp the victim by the jacket and bring him safely back to shore. Mr. Chamberlain. Jason Donald Como. On October 10, 2010, Jason Como rescued a woman from a tractor trailer that had burst into flames following an accident on the Trans-Canada Highway near Moncton, New Brunswick. After attempting to extinguish the rapidly growing fire, and despite the heavy smoke, Mr. Como broke the driver's side window to reach the victim. He managed to pull her out and bring her to safety less than a minute before the vehicle was completely engulfed in flames. Mr. Como. Our next recipients have earned the Meritorious Service Decoration. These celebrate Canadians who have performed an exceptional deed that brings honour to Canada. The decorations are separated into military and civil divisions. There are recipients of each here today, and they have two levels, a cross and a medal. La Croix de Service Méritoire reconnaît une action qui présente un haut niveau de service ou une norme exemplaire de très grande valeur. The Meritorious Service Cross recognizes a deed performed to an uncommonly high standard that sets an example for others to follow. To receive the Meritorious Service Cross, Paul Young. With great determination, Paul Young works to generate awareness of the issues facing people with a disability. Drawing purpose from his own battle with cerebral palsy, he helped found People First Nova Scotia to seek social justice and equality. He went on to serve as National President of People First of Canada, where he helped grow the organization and became well known for speaking out for disability rights. Mr. Young. The Meritorious Service Medal recognizes a deed or an activity that has been performed according to a very high standard. La médaille de service méritoire reconnaît une action dont le Canada a tiré des honneurs et qui est un exemple à suivre. To receive the Meritorious Service Medal, Sandra Clark, Robert Hollett, and Harold Paddock. Dr. Sandra Clark, Dr. Philip Hiscock, and Professor Robert Hollett built on the earlier work of linguist Dr. Harold Paddock to create the Dialect Atlas of Newfoundland and Labrador, an online record of the province's unique linguistic features. Their combined efforts have helped preserve the historic dialects of the region and contributed to our country's cultural knowledge. Dr. Hiscock will be accepting his decoration at a later date. Dr. Clark. Professor Hollett. Dr. Paddock. Peter James Cowan, Anthony Kelly, Byron Alexander Sampson, John Seymour, and Paul Joseph York. During a fierce winter storm in the Gulf of St. Lawrence, Canadian Coast Guard members Peter James Cowan, Anthony Kelly, Byron Alexander Sampson, John Seymour, and Paul Joseph York were called to secure an unmanned barge carrying diesel fuel that had been cut loose in the heavy seas. Risking the rough weather, the team worked to avoid an environmental catastrophe by boarding the icy barge, securing it, and preventing it from crashing into nearby Henry Island. Mr. Cowan. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Sampson. Mr. Seymour. Mr. York. Jeff Eaton. A two-time cancer survivor, Jeff Eaton discovered there were few support programs available for young adults living with cancer. In response, he established Young Adult Cancer Canada, which brings together patients from across the country to share their experiences, learn from their peers, and form a broader network of support, notably through its annual summer conference. Mr. Eaton. Honorary Captain Fred George. Honorary Captain George's unwavering dedication to Canadian Armed Forces personnel, their families, and veterans from December 2011 to December 2014 have been commendable. He continuously enhanced the Royal Canadian Navy's profile by providing flag and general officers with opportunities to engage with community and business leaders. Honorary Captain George exemplifies the best of military values and has brought great credit to the Canadian Armed Forces and to Canada. Honorary Captain George. J.A. Heffernan. After a fire destroyed the historic Church Lads Brigade Armory in 1992, J.A. Heffernan's leadership and perseverance led to the construction of an identical building exactly 2 years later. The renewed facility enables young Corps members to follow in the footsteps of previous generations of the brigade, contributing to Newfoundland and Labrador's proud military heritage. Mr. Heffernan. Jessie Lynn Jollymore. Jessie Jollymore is the founder and executive director of Hope Blooms, a community program in North End, Halifax that empowers at-risk youth to make a difference by growing, preparing, marketing, selling, and donating food grown in a community garden. Each year, a portion of the proceeds from the sale is used to support community initiatives, including a scholarship program for inner-city youth. Ms. Jollymore. Major James Gerald Lynch. Under the leadership of retired Major James Gerald Lynch, the Signal Hill Tattoo has grown into a major source of tourism for Newfoundland and Labrador. Partnering with local schools, this annual summer attraction celebrates the province's storied military history, including that of the St. John's Volunteer Rangers, the War of 1812, and the First World War. Major Lynch. Laurie Mallory and Paige Allison Morehouse. In 2009, Dr. Laurie Mallory and Dr. Paige Allison Morehouse co-founded the Palliative and Therapeutic Harmonization Clinic. The PATH program offers innovative approaches that empower patients to become agents of their own end-of-life care and ensures that the most appropriate health care options are presented to them. Dr. Mallory. Dr. Morehouse. Roderick Alistair McCulloch and Gerald Walsh. Avid runners Roderick Alistair McCulloch and Gerald Walsh founded the Blue Nose Marathon in 2004 to raise money for local charities and to encourage an active lifestyle. The marathon is now the best-known running event in the Maritimes, attracting over 13,000 participants in 2014. It has also evolved into an entire weekend of festivities, including a wellness expo, 5 and 10 kilometer runs, a team relay, and a youth run. Mr. McCulloch. Mr. Walsh. Michael Parkhill. Michael Parkhill founded Say It First to promote endangered First Nations languages through the use of digital learning technologies. This innovative company has become a leader in Indigenous language revitalization by developing a computer-generated translation tool and by producing television shows and books for children in Maliseet, Mi'kmaq, Ojibwe, and Cree. Mr. Parkhill. Mikey van Nierkerk. Determined to create a legacy for her mother, who died of breast cancer, Mikey van Niekerk created Catherine's Care Package, an organization that raises funds to offset rural cancer patients' travel costs to access care in Halifax and St. John's. She has cycled across Newfoundland and Labrador and ran 7 marathons in 7 days to symbolize patients' long journeys to access treatment. Ms. van Niekerk. Penny Walsh-McGuire. Penny Walsh-McGuire was the driving force and executive director of PEI 2014, a nonprofit organization established to commemorate the 150th anniversary of the 1864 Charlottetown Conference and its important role in Canadian history. Her ability to mobilize partnerships led to a year of highly successful events throughout PEI, attracting Canadians from across the country to join in the celebrations. Ms. McGuire. The third honor presented today is the Sovereign's Medal for Volunteers. It recognizes the many everyday heroes among us who volunteer their time and effort to help their fellow citizens. La troisième distinction qui sera présentée cet après-midi est la médaille du souverain pour les bénévoles. Elle rend hommage à ces individus qui donnent bénévolement de leur temps pour venir en aide à leurs concitoyens. To receive the Sovereign's Medal for Volunteers, Colleen Bannon. Colleen Bannon is a strong supporter of the Heart and Stroke Foundation. She performs blood pressure checks and educates the public on cardiovascular health at health fairs across Prince Edward Island. Ms. Bannon. Emilienne Basque. Depuis plus de 45 ans, Emilienne Basque aide les plus vulnérables de la société grâce au comptoir alimentaire qu'elle a ouvert chez elle et en dirigeant divers organismes qui favorisent l'égalité et la justice sociale au Nouveau-Brunswick. Son travail de défense des intérêts et son leadership au sein de programmes ont amélioré la qualité de vie de milliers de personnes. Madame Basque. Glenn Beers. Glenn Beers has been involved with the Canadian Cancer Society for 14 years, serving on its New Brunswick Board of Directors and working to educate and to help those with cancer enjoy a better quality of life. He also serves with United Way and Scouts Canada. Mr. Beers. Jean-Luc Bélanger. Surnommé le père des Jeux de l'Acadie, Jean-Luc Bélanger a à cœur le mieux-être de sa communauté. Il a continué sa contribution en développant les Jeux de l'Acadie 50+, qui permettent aux Acadiens et aux francophones de 50 ans et plus de participer à des activités récréatives, culturelles et sportives. Monsieur Bélanger. Michel Blanchard. Michel Blanchard travaille à l'avancement des arts et de la culture des communautés francophones et acadiennes de l'île du Prince-Édouard. Notamment, elle a occupé des postes de direction au sein de Music PEI et de la Fédération culturelle de l'île du Prince-Édouard. Madame Blanchard. Patricia Burchell. Patricia Burchell has been involved with the Community Volunteer Income Tax Program for 16 years. She regularly helps people needing assistance with one-on-one tax clinics, particularly residents of subsidized housing facilities and various seniors' homes. Mrs. Burchell. Richard Burns. As a volunteer with Special Olympics Prince Edward Island for 17 years, Richard Burns has served as a fundraiser, mentor, and coach for both floor hockey and bowling. He has also helped develop the next generation of athletes with Youth Bowl Canada. Mr. Burns. Kenneth Campbell. Initially becoming involved with the Community Volunteer Income Tax Program 22 years ago, Kenneth Campbell has never looked back. He continues to assist those less fortunate in other capacities as well, such as with the Bell Alliant Pioneers and Halifax's We Care Centre. Mr. Campbell. Maurice Chiasson. Maurice Chiasson has volunteered with the Heart and Stroke Foundation's Halifax Hockey Heroes Weekend for the past 5 years and currently serves on the Foundation's Nova Scotia Board of Directors. He continues to engage and motivate volunteers, participants, and sponsors. Mr. Chiasson. Mildred Cousins. A volunteer with the Canadian Cancer Society for over 20 years, Mildred Cousins is a role model who dedicates her time to the annual holiday card campaign and the Daffodil Days program, as well as ensuring a warm atmosphere at Daffodil Place. Mrs. Cousins. Jules Custodio. À son arrivée à Labrador City en 1972, Gilles Custodio a commencé à travailler au renforcement et à la promotion de la communauté acadienne. Ses efforts ont été bénéfiques et sa contribution a produit un impact durable sur des organismes comme la Fédération des francophones de Terre-Neuve et du Labrador et la Labrador West Tourism Corporation. Monsieur Custodio. Arthur Cuthbertson. Since his retirement from the Royal Canadian Air Force, Arthur Cuthbertson has devoted his time to giving back to the military and to the larger community. He has become a respected figure in his community, notably through his work with the Dieppe Military Veterans Association. Mr. Cuthbertson. Rita d'Entremont. Pendant plus de 40 ans, Rita d'Entremont a servi sa communauté à divers titres et dans le cadre d'un large éventail d'activités, à l'école de son quartier, à l'église et dans des centres culturels. Elle a investi beaucoup d'efforts pour toucher et améliorer la vie de maintes personnes. Madame d'Entremont.
Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, avant de continuer avec la cérémonie de remise, nous prendrons une petite pause. It is now our great pleasure to bring you a brief cultural interlude provided by a talented dance group that's just returned from Winnipeg, Manitoba this weekend at the National Highland Dancing Competition. Under the coordination Under the coordination of President Joanne Treen, it is our pleasure to welcome the Halifax Highland Dancing Association. Wow, that was great. Very delightful. Thank you very much for that performance. Merci beaucoup. And thanks as well to the many dedicated volunteers whose efforts underscore and support the Halifax Highland Dancing Association. And now, speaking of volunteers, let's go back to the Sovereign's Volunteer Medal presentations.
Nos prochains récipiendaires, Zita et Edmond Galland. Zita et Edmond Galland ont encouragé les arts et la culture francophone au sein d'organismes comme la Coopérative de développement culturel et patrimonial de Mont-Carmel et Collectivité en fleurs. Au fil des ans, ils ont rassemblé la communauté francophone de l'île du Prince-Édouard et préservé la langue française et le patrimoine acadien. Madame Galland. Monsieur Galland. Lan Tran Dien. Lan Tran Dien has spent decades volunteering with the Canadian Association of Schools of Nursing. She has also served as an advocate for others through the Multicultural Women's Organization of Newfoundland and Labrador and the National Organization of Immigrants and Minority Women of Canada. Dr. Dien. Ronald Griffiths. Ronald Griffiths has dedicated his time to improving the lives of his fellow veterans and their families through the Canadian Association of Veterans of United Nations Peacekeeping. A former national president, he has established chapters across Canada to support veterans at the national, provincial, and local levels. Dr. Griffiths. Sorry. Céline Guimonde. Il y a 5 ans, Céline Guimonde a commencé à faire du bénévolat avec le vestiaire Saint-Jean-Baptiste, une banque alimentaire à Bouctouche. Elle y accomplit plusieurs tâches, comme servir les clients, tenir les stocks et aider le gérant à diriger l'organisme. Madame Guimonde. Scott Helly. Over the past 17 years, Scott Helly has volunteered with the French Vale, Liverpool, and Scotchtown Fire Departments as a firefighter and officer. He also served as the Area Commissioner for Scouts Canada on Cape Breton Island, where he established various venturer companies, and is an instructor and supply officer with the 29 Sydney Kiwanis Cadet Squadron. Mr. Helly. Linda Kane. As the volunteer curator of Cupid's Museum, Linda Kane has helped preserve the history of the oldest continuously settled English colony in Canada. She coordinated 400th anniversary events in 2010, helped create the Cupid's Legacy Centre, and has shared this region's heritage with visitors, students, and local residents alike. Mrs. Kane. Eshwar Kumar. For the past 19 years, Eshwar Kumar has served as a member of the Canadian Cancer Society's Board of Directors and has raised funds through both the Relay for Life and his annual East Indian Charity Dinner and Auction. He has helped advance cancer research and patient care and promoted civic engagement. Dr. Kumar. Maureen Leahy. As chair of the Pugwash Communities in Bloom chapter, Maureen Leahy has fostered community involvement, environmental responsibility, and civic pride. Her projects range from the development of the Peace Ground in Eaton Park to the town's annual Earth Day cleanup, and have earned her town national recognition and a coveted 5 Blooms rating. Mrs. Leahy. Alida Léveillé-Brown. Depuis 25 ans, Alida Léveillé-Brown se dévoue à l'amélioration de la vie des autres par l'entremise d'organismes comme les Dames d'Acadie de Campbellton, la Galerie Restigouche et la Fondation des Amis de la Santé. Ses efforts ont encouragé l'égalité et amélioré l'accès aux ressources éducatives et communautaires. Madame Léveillé-Brown. Justin Lyle. A member of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, Justin Lyle has shown a true spirit of volunteerism in the community he serves. In particular, he is known as a respected champion of initiatives such as Movember, the Law Enforcement Torch Relay for the Special Olympics, and the Children's Make-A-Wish Foundation. Constable Lyle. Cindy McDonald. Cindy McDonald is a volunteer with the Heart and Stroke Foundation in Nova Scotia, assisting administratively and through such events as the Big Bike Ride. Her ongoing support ensures operations run smoothly and helps the foundation in fulfilling its mission. Ms. McDonald. Douglas MacDonald. Douglas MacDonald has been preparing income tax returns for people requiring assistance for over 15 years. His commitment to helping others extends beyond interacting with clients. It includes mentoring new volunteers and providing leadership to his group. Mr. MacDonald. Blaise McEachern. Blaise McEachern joined the Trans-Canada Trail Organization in 1999. Since then, he has contributed to the development of 92 kilometers of trail in Nova Scotia. He has made important strides in connecting Nova Scotia's trails to the rest of the country by 2017. Mr. McEachern. Sterling McFadden. Stu McFadden is committed to fostering youth development through sport. He has volunteered as a coordinator and coach for the Charlottetown Minor Baseball Association and helps with both the Spud Minor and the Early Bird hockey tournaments. He is also a Beaver leader and an usher with Holy Redeemer Parish. Mr. McFadden. Tom McLeod. For over 20 years, Tom McLeod has helped provide financial stability to low-income families and seniors through the Community Volunteer Income Tax Program. His assistance has helped demystify what could have been an intimidating process. Mr. McLeod. Robin McGee. In 2010, Robin McGee began volunteering with the Canadian Cancer Society as an ambassador with the organization's Cancer Connection program. She helps to connect people with cancer, their families, and their friends with a supportive online community that provides advice and compassion and companionship during difficult times. Dr. McGee. Pauline McLean. Pauline McLean first became involved with the Community Volunteer Income Tax Program at her local YMCA. Over 40 years later, she continues to help low-income families, seniors, and persons with disabilities in Cape Breton to complete their taxes. Ms. McLean. Donald McLeod. Donald McLeod has been canvassing for the Heart and Stroke Foundation for the past 7 years, assisting with annual campaigns, distributing information about cardiovascular health, and raising awareness. His dedication and ongoing commitment has advanced the Foundation's mission of creating a healthier country. Mr. McLeod. Dorine Mélençon. Dorine Mélençon est l'une des bénévoles les plus loyales de Bouctouche. Depuis 22 ans, elle offre ses services au manoir Saint-Jean-Baptiste, où elle aide avec les activités des résidents, ainsi qu'au vestiaire Saint-Jean-Baptiste, où elle s'occupe notamment de trier les denrées. Madame Mélençon. Lloyd Melanson. For over 20 years, Lloyd Melanson has been volunteering with the Community Volunteer Income Tax Program and St. Benedict's Church. He oversees finances at the church and coordinates the tax program's team of volunteers throughout the Halifax region. Mr. Melanson. Marilyn Melanson. Marilyn Melanson has been a volunteer with the Community Volunteer Income Tax Program for over 25 years. She personally helps members of the community with a low income to file taxes and access the benefits to which they're entitled, and also coordinates other volunteers to do the same. Mrs. Melanson. Alan Murray. Alan Murray has helped to grow the Community Volunteer Income Tax Program in Nova Scotia so that it can reach more people who need its help. He does not hesitate to tackle challenging environments if there's a need, and he recently began working to establish a clinic at the Northeast Nova Scotia Correctional Facility. Mr. Murray. Sarah Painter. Seeing the need for a swimming program, Sarah Painter joined Special Olympics Prince Edward Island over 19 years ago to do just that. Respected by both the athletes and her fellow coaches, she continues to provide support and leadership locally and nationally. Mrs. Painter. Ronald Porter. Ronald Porter has been active as a volunteer in his community for almost 50 years. He joined the Cadet Corps in 1968 and has gone on to support veterans through the Royal Canadian Legion, as well as to volunteer with Nova Scotia Crime Stoppers. Mr. Porter. Marjorie Purdy. In addition to serving as a cadet instructor, Marjorie Purdy has dedicated her time to the Oromocto Biathlon Club, where she undertakes both coaching and administrative roles to support athlete development. Captain Purdy. Caitlin Reher. A scout leader and a volunteer with the Heart and Stroke Foundation, Caitlin Reher commits herself to the well-being of others. Her leadership style is credited with bringing people together and generating a strong sense of community. Ms. Reher. Joan Elizabeth Rutledge. A founding member of the Sussex chapter of Communities in Bloom, Joan Elizabeth Rutledge has overseen the creation of a number of green spaces and a community garden and has built a thriving organization. Her efforts are credited with successfully promoting community, environmental sustainability, and civic pride. Mrs. Rutledge. Brittany Russell. When Brittany Russell began coaching rhythmic gymnastics for Special Olympics Newfoundland 3 years ago, she helped foster healthy competition and positive growth. Since then, she has helped transform 14 men and women into self-assured athletes and members of the community. Ms. Russell. Linda Maureen Follett Ryan. In 2011, while recovering from breast cancer treatments, Linda Follett Ryan established Pink Days in Bloom, a fundraising initiative for the Canadian Breast Cancer Foundation run in conjunction with Communities in Bloom. Her activities, from the Sharing Our Strength Breast Cancer Support Group to the Evening of Pink, have brought people together and inspired solidarity. Mrs. Follett Ryan. Eben Sabian. For more than 30 years, Eben Sabian has been a leader within his community, commanding volunteer firefighters out in the field and instructing cadets. His efforts with the Army cadets have given youth from various backgrounds the opportunity to become well-rounded citizens and achieve personal success. Mr. Sabian. Darren Simmons. For the past 5 years, Darren Simmons has been helping athletes with intellectual disabilities harness their own strengths and abilities as a coach and regional program coordinator with Special Olympics Nova Scotia. He provides hands-on leadership to athletes in basketball, athletics, snowshoeing, and floor hockey. Mr. Simmons. Michael Steele. Michael Steele supports the Heart and Stroke Foundation's annual Halifax Hockey Heroes Weekend as a volunteer and a member of the organizing committee. As a result, over $1.1 million have gone toward research and recovery. Mr. Steele. Joan Tufts. Joan Tufts est une championne de la santé mentale, de la culture et du patrimoine acadien, notamment par l'entremise de son travail auprès de la Guilde acadienne de Clare. Elle a contribué à la création d'une nouvelle Écosse plus équitable et inclusive. Madame Tufts. William Whalen. William Whalen is an engaged volunteer with the Canadian Cancer Society, the PEI Science Fair, and the PEI Home and School Federation. He has promoted dialogue between individuals and a learning culture in the province. Mr. Whalen. Estella Wilson. Estella Wilson has been helping others for 40 years as a volunteer with the Christmas Index Program, St. David's United Church, and the Community Volunteer Income Tax Program. She brings people together, provides assistance, and demonstrates the value of community and kinship. Ms. Wilson. Mesdames, Messieurs, félicitons ensemble nos récipiendaires. Please join me in congratulating all of our recipients.
Thank you, Darcy, and congratulations to récipiendaire. Félicitons encore. I would now invite His Excellency, the Governor General, to offer some closing remarks. J'invite maintenant le Gouverneur Général à offrir un mot de la fin. Excellency.
Well, so much has been said so well by all these remarkable people. Isn't it just terrific to see the diversity of Canada and how it cares and how it shows courage? This is a very moving ceremony for me and for my wife, and a very powerful one. I hope it is for you as well. I was so inspired to meet each of our recipients and to have this opportunity to thank each of you in person for your efforts. I'm also delighted to have presented these honors in the presence of your family and loved ones, and so many others who care about building a better Canada. To all of you, my thanks for your support of these remarkable individuals. I'd also like to take a moment to repeat the call for nominations. None of these honors were presented by accident. Each is the result of a nomination process by those who know our recipients best and know how worthy they are of recognition. And if I can just stray for a moment, I don't know of any honor system in the world that is as merit-based as ours. This is truly based on merit. This isn't a matter of who you know, it's a matter of what you do to build a better country. And of course, it begins with the nominations that come from the people at large, and then assessed by a committee and resulting in the honors we've seen today. So let me ask, who inspires your communities? Who inspires your communities? Well, honor them and help us celebrate them and encourage those who seek to make a difference, and of course, that encourages others. N'hésitez pas à soumettre la candidature des gens qui font une différence dans votre communauté. Ils méritent notre reconnaissance. So thank you again for all who've helped make today's ceremony possible, and to all of you being here, and congratulations once again to our most deserving recipients. Merci.
Ladies and gentlemen, in a few moments, the ceremony will conclude with the singing of the national anthem, which will be led by Ms. Rachel Burry. Ms. Burry has sung professionally in Europe and throughout the United States and will be accompanied today by the Royal Canadian Navy's Stadacona Band. Ms. Burry?
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits, et ta valeur du froid trempé protégera nos foyers et nos droits, protégera nos foyers et nos droits.
Thank you very much, Ms. Burry. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd ask you to remain in your seat until the vice-regal procession and the recipients have left the room. You are invited to join their excellencies and the vice-regal party in the Hall of Tribute for a reception. The recipients will join you after the group photos have been taken. Dans quelques instants, cette cérémonie se terminera par l'interprétation. Oh, excuse-moi, on a fait ça. Veuillez demeurer à vos places et jusqu'à ce que la pression vice-royale et les récipients aient quitté la place. Par la suite, vous êtes cordialement invités à une réception qui aura lieu à la salle d'hommage. Mesdames et messieurs, merci bien de votre présence aujourd'hui. Thank you once again for joining us today to celebrate these recipients who make Canada so very proud. Please stand and join us. Thank you.